Imagine waking up one morning and discovering your entire country is bankrupt. The banks are collapsing, the shelves are emptying, and somewhere behind closed doors, powerful men in expensive suits are deciding whether your nation deserves to survive. But here's the terrifying part. Greece's suffering may never have been a mistake at all. Tonight, we enter the secret world of Europe's financial elite, political betrayal, and the crisis that changed the Western world forever. Before we begin tonight's story, comment your country below. Subscribe for the full 6-part series of Europe in Crisis, and dim the lights, because this story only gets darker from here. In 2010, the world watched Greece collapse. News headlines spoke of debt, corruption, laziness, and financial chaos. European taxpayers were told they needed to save Greece with massive bailout loans worth billions of euros. But according to Greece's finance minister, Yanis Varoufakis, the truth was something far more disturbing. Greece was not being rescued. It was being sacrificed. Long before the global financial crash of 2008, Greece was already fragile. Governments overspent, corruption spread quietly through the system, tax evasion became normal. For years, Greece survived by weakening its own currency, the drachma. But then came the euro, and once Greece adopted Europe's shared currency, its escape hatch disappeared forever. Without the ability to devalue its currency, Greece turned to borrowing. Huge loans poured in from French and German banks. At first, it looked manageable, but debt is dangerous when the economy stops growing. Then came 2008. The global financial crisis hit like an earthquake. Suddenly, Greece could no longer hide the truth. It was bankrupt. But Greece wasn't the only one in danger. German and French banks had loaned enormous amounts of money to Greece. If Greece collapsed, those banks could collapse too. And so Europe's leaders faced a terrifying possibility: save Greece or save themselves. Publicly, European leaders claimed Greece simply needed temporary help, a rescue package, a short-term solution. But behind the scenes, the goal was very different. Most of the bailout money never reached ordinary Greek citizens. Instead, the money flowed straight back to creditors and banks. Greece received loans to repay older loans. A nation drowning in debt was handed more debt. Soon, 3 powerful institutions took control of Greece's future: the European Commission, the European Central Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. Together, they became known as the Troika to millions of Greeks. They felt less like rescuers and more like rulers. The Troika had conditions, brutal conditions. Government spending was slashed, taxes increased, salaries shrank, pensions disappeared, entire families struggled to survive. Young people fled the country searching for work. Greece entered year after year of recession, yet somehow the debt kept growing. By 2015, the Greek people had enough. They elected a radical new government led by the Syriza party. And at the center of this rebellion stood a new finance minister, Yanis Varoufakis, a motorcycle-riding economist who believed Europe's leaders were lying. Varoufakis arrived in meetings with Europe's most powerful officials carrying a dangerous idea. Greece should restructure its debt. Instead of endlessly borrowing more money, smaller payments, long-term recovery, real reform. Privately, many officials agreed with him, but publicly, silence or betrayal. Behind closed doors, politicians nodded politely, cameras turned on, and suddenly everyone changed their position. Varoufakis began realizing something horrifying. Politics wasn't about solving problems, it was about protecting power. Greece had one final bargaining chip, leaving the euro. Brexit. It would be catastrophic, but Varoufakis believed Europe feared it enough to negotiate seriously, so his team secretly prepared emergency plans, new currency systems, economic survival measures, backup strategies. They wanted Europe to know Greece was prepared to walk away. But the Troika refused to bend. According to Varoufakis, some officials privately admitted the bailout program would fail, yet they pushed it anyway, because by now, the system was protecting itself, not the people. Then came psychological warfare. The European Central Bank hinted Greek banks might shut down. Panic spread. Citizens rushed to withdraw savings. Elderly people lined up outside ATMs. Fear became a weapon. In July 2015, Greece voted. The people were asked whether they accepted the Troika's harsh bailout terms. Europe expected surrender. Instead, 61% voted no. It was one of the most dramatic democratic moments in modern European history. But then, everything changed. Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras ignored the referendum. Despite the people's decision, he accepted another bailout, another austerity package, another surrender. Varoufakis resigned shortly afterward. Later, Varoufakis would describe a political world divided into two groups, insiders and outsiders. Insiders protected one another no matter what. Careers mattered more than morality. Power mattered more than democracy. And slowly, ordinary people across Europe began losing faith in the system itself. Anger spread beyond Greece. Across Europe, many citizens grew resentful. Some blamed immigrants, others blamed the European Union itself. Nationalism surged, Brexit followed, and across the Atlantic, populist movements exploded in the United States, according to Varoufakis. Europe's handling of Greece helped create the political chaos that came afterward. The Greek debt crisis was never just about money. It was about power, about fear, control, and what happens when democracy collides with financial empires. Greece became a warning to the world. When institutions stop serving people, people eventually stop trusting institutions. And once trust disappears, entire civilizations begin to shake. Tonight, Europe sleeps uneasily. The banks remain open. The politicians still give speeches. The euro still survives. But somewhere beneath the surface, the cracks remain. Good night.